Hi, it's Cindy from Quilters Cupboard. I have a little tutorial for you guys today. Many of you are out there making masks, and we have a shortage of elastic, as most of you know, so we're going to the tie way. And I wanted to show you 3 tools that you guys might already have in your stash, you've kind of forgotten about them, to show you ways to make the tie. So the first one I want to show you is your bias tape maker. So many of you might have the 1/4" bias tape maker in your stash of goodies. All of these tools will have back in probably on Tuesday, because I didn't come up with this grand plan, of course, until after I placed my last order. So they're coming. So if you are going to make the ties, because they need to be 1/4" wide. So this one is actually the 1/2" bias tape maker, because we're going to fold it over. And I'm going to take this little strip. So I've cut my strips 1" wide. It's easier with this tool if you have a diagonal cut, but it's not necessary. So I'm going to feed the fabric in, and if it doesn't, whoops, that happens all the time. It's hard to do things mid-air sometimes. Let's try this one more time. Now, it's called a bias tape maker, but your strips do not have to be biased. I'm using leftover strips from bindings and just kind of cutting them in half. I had a straight pin here too, but there's a nice little channel here, so if you can't get it in, you just use your straight pin and help push it in. But you can see that it's folding under the ends for me. So I'm going to come over here to my favorite tool of all times, my Steady Betty, and press. So there's a nice little handle, so as I pull, it's going to press those down perfectly for me. Okay? And then I can take this one more time and just press in half. So that's how the binding tool works. So we're going to pause for a second. We'll be right back. All right, so we're working with the 1/2" bias tape maker, and then I just go to my iron and I press in half. With my nice little handle, it just makes everything great. So I can go ahead and do all the way down. Now I'm going to come on over to my baby lock, and I'm going to sew this down. I'm going to go ahead and just go to my perfect 1/4" stitch. I hope all of your machines you could get to that perfect 1/4" just as easy as I did. And then I'm going to snap off this foot. And I'm going to snap on, this one is called the bi-level foot. And what this does is it has a groove that comes down. So it's going to keep me right along the edge of my fabric. I'm going to pull that off just because. All right, so there's my in half little guy, and so I'm going to set him underneath there. I'm going to lower my foot, and because I moved my foot over, or my needle over, it's going to be really easy for me to get going. So I can just go right along the edge. I can even move my needle over a little bit more with my left-right shift to get exactly where I want. So I'm just going to keep going until I get those ties made. Now, you notice I didn't do anything to finish the edge. That's okay. I'm just going to tie a little knot in the end. All right? So that's one tool. You guys may have bias tape makers in your stash already. The second tool we're going to talk about is the hot ruler. This one works out extremely well because I can iron directly on it. So here's my next 1" piece that I've cut. And my hot ruler, it's a special fabric so that I can set this. I love my Steady Betty, but it won't let me move that fabric, so we may move over to the mat. I have marks on here, so I'm folding my fabric right up to that 1/4" line. I'm not burning my fingers. I'm not doing anything other than doing a quick and easy, very accurate 1/4". So that would be one side of my strip. Then I can flip my strip around and do exactly the same thing on this strip. Okay, so we'll do real quick just to iron that guy on my 1/4". Needless to say, if I was really making one of these, you can expect I'm going to be a little bit more accurate. But then my ends are turned in just like on that bias tape maker, and I will do one more press in half. Now we have these fancy little things that go on your finger. They're so you can't burn your fingers if you touch the iron too. So those are kind of an extra perk as well. So that one is the hot ruler from Clover. Lots of purposes, but for the point of the straps, I think that one's going to work really well. All right, Our third option is the old-fashioned loop turner. Many of you have this, but you've put it away because you don't really remember how to use it, or it doesn't work as well for you. So what I'm going to do is show you real quick how to use it. I'm going to put back on the regular foot on my machine. So I've cut my strip that same 1 inch. This is what it's going to turn out to be. And I'm going to start here. I've got my perfect 1/4 inch again. We're going to put, what do I have? One that's not really pressed. Let's take a well, it's hard when you work with scraps here. You know, I'm not a professional, so I'm doing my best I can do. All right, so we are going to go ahead, put right sides together this time. I'm going to put it under the foot. Now, I want a 1/4 inch seam, but I really would like a scant. And I've already moved my needle over or my left-right shift. So we're going to go ahead, put our layers together. Well, shoot, I've got speed control. I'm going to be a speed demon and go a little bit faster. My big extension table does make my life a lot easier. All right, so we got that. Hello, we'll be right with you.
Do I get special?
Trying to demo and do. Okay, so then my loop turner goes inside of my tube. Now, a smart plan would be to cut your seam allowance at that angle to get away that bulk. But I forgot to bring scissors. You know, I probably have scissors somewhere. Okay, so I'm going to push it all the way through, and there's a little lip guy here. So he is going to come into my fabric, and it's just going to grab and hold. So where people go wrong with this is then you try and turn and that guy lets loose and you get very frustrated. So this is where my sewing machine helps me. I put that loop on the end, and then I'm going to get started. So this is going to be the hardest part because it's very narrow. But once I get that going, I'm going to get it going. I just bring it down and I keep going. It helps when you have a rolly chair because I just keep moving back. Now I'll be honest, I only go as far as I can get that loop in there because if it's going to let go, I don't need it now. And I'm going to pop it off of there, keep on turning, and there is my tube turned just that easily. Then I'm going to knot the ends and I've got ready for another mask. So hopefully you guys have got those products in your stash. If not, you know you're going to be able to get them from me beginning of next week. But I hope that that will help you find an easier way to do the ties if you can't find any elastic. Thank you guys. Oh, wait, one last thing I have to tell you. So hey, Baby Lock is doing our 60-day trial of our online classes at no charge for anybody. At this point, you don't even have to own a Baby Lock. They're letting everybody in to learn some things. There is a bunch of great classes on there, so I think all of you guys should take advantage of that. It's only a limited time for those of you that don't own a Baby Lock, but otherwise, we give one of these away with every machine that you purchase. So there's my little plug for Yay, Baby Lock! All right, guys, take care. See you soon. Bye.